Hello everyone, we are live at Algoma University once again. This is the third Facebook Live session that we're doing, and tonight we're actually going to feature some of our science programs, the biology and the environmental science programs specifically. With me, I'm Paul Quinnell, by the way, I work in the recruitment office. With me we've got a professor and a student actually, so we've got Dr. Pedro Antunes, and we also have Darissa. She's in the science program here, so if you guys can tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you're doing here at Algoma, that'd be great.
Okay, my name is Pedro Antunes, and I'm a professor in biology. And I run this lab. I teach several courses, invasive species. I teach microbiology, and this lab here is focused on plants, soils, all the critters that live in soils. Okay, that's what I do.
Great.
Hi, I'm Darissa, and I'm a thesis student with Pedro Antunes, and currently work in this lab, and I'm in my fourth year of biology here at Algoma.
Perfect. All right, so I've got a couple questions for the both of you. So we've had the biology program at Algoma U for many years now, and just recently we added the environmental science program that's going to be starting this fall. Pedro, can you tell us a little bit about this program and what it will bring to Algoma?
Yeah, for sure. So we recognized, being here at Algoma, that we are in a location that offers many opportunities to understand the environment and to act on some of the most difficult problems that are facing humanity today, I'd say, from climate change to water pollution, forestry issues. And so not only we have the natural environmental resources around us, we have excellent partnerships with government labs that focus on forestry around here in the north, and we already had these labs here that were built in 2-3 years ago. We had the faculty, so everything was in place to create this really interesting program.
Awesome. And so this program is going to tackle some of the key issues with the environment today. So it's a very relevant new program that we've just added. So it's a really great addition. So Darissa, I've got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So your path is a little bit different to Algoma. You actually started out at a larger university in Ontario.
Yes.
And a couple of years in, you decided to switch to Algoma. So can you tell us a little bit about that and why you chose to do that?
Sure. So I actually started in an environmental science program, and where I was introduced to geomatics, which is working with spatial topics in regards to the environment, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to take a minor in a certificate, which meant I needed to switch out of the environmental science program at the school I was at. And I decided, well, I'm going to transfer into biology. I was born in Sault Ste. Marie, so I decided, well, they offer this at home, so I'm going to go home. And I talked to a couple of my friends that were here at Algoma prior to, and I only said positive things about the small class sizes, how interactive it is with professors and fellow classmates. You know, you're not just one of 400 students, you're one of 20 to 70. That's easy to handle. So yeah, that was more why I chose to come back to Algoma.
Perfect. All right, so Pedro, can you tell me about how you were named one of Canada's Canadian Research Chairs and what that means for you at Algoma U?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So I've been here now for 6-7 years, and this type of university, small size, focused primarily on undergrads, actually allows you some additional time to spend with undergrads in the labs. So we've built quite a few different experiments, engaged the undergrad students in writing and publications, and that led to, when the opportunity came to apply for a Canada Research Chair, we actually started looking, and there's quite a few studies that have come out, and so there's an opportunity here to apply, and we applied and it was successful, and it meant that you get to do research for another 5 years, and you are released a little bit from teaching, which in turn allows you to spend more time in the lab and with students, and hopefully we can keep this ball rolling for a while. So that's yeah.
Awesome. Darissa, since starting at Algoma U, you started from a large school to a smaller school. So what has surprised you most about Algoma U?
How actually overwhelming smaller classes can be. There's always talk about larger classes, 1 in 400. Well, smaller classes, I was used to professors not caring if I was paying attention, not knowing if I was paying attention or not. I found it very easy to be on Facebook on my computer instead of, actually paying attention to the lectures. So when I moved to a smaller classroom, it was really different for me, for the professor to know my every move. So I found that the most surprising factor, but also the best part about Algoma, because they knew exactly what I was doing, they knew my grades, they knew my name, they knew my interests. I had not only a professional relationship, but also a personal relationship with them, and you get a lot more opportunities that way in networking and knowing what you might pursue in the future based on their interests as well.
Awesome. And so you've actually done some research with Dr. Antunes.
Yes.
How has that been?
It's actually in collaboration with the Ontario Forest Research Institute as well, and a part of a network internationally, so the International Diversity Experiment Network with Trees. And it's been different. So I'm used to working on a macro scale, and this time I'm working on a micro scale. So I've been using these microscopes and looking at things that you might not even imagine exist, such as mycorrhizal fungi. So it's been really interesting, the ecology of it, and learning things in different scales, and it's been awesome.
Great. So Pedro, students that are going to be going into the environmental science program, this new program,
Right.
what kind of opportunities are they going to get from this program?
Well, that's one of the main reasons we developed the program the way we did. Was we wanted to link the students that come here with the community, and that's very important, because sometimes a university could be almost like an isolated island. We didn't want that at all, so we created these internship courses which allow students to come in, take these courses, and they have to spend some time working with our partners. It could be the government labs. It could be companies in town that are focused on biotechnology. Also, not-for-profits. We have several partners, and hopefully through this it will open obviously their network of contacts, their experience with the professional world, and will make them closer to a job opportunity when they finish. So I think that will be very interesting. The other thing I'd like to highlight is our field studies in biology. We take these students out. As I mentioned before, the ecosystems around here are really beautiful. We have the national parks not too far away, and Lake Superior Provincial Park close by as well, and so we want to take students more to these places, and so we have also the program is geared towards that. A lot of experiential learning. They get to go out, but they also here get to do a lot of work in the labs, so hands-on experience. So from pollution to soil ecology, and then also benefit from a university that has many other areas across, so in the humanities and the social sciences. For example, environmental law is one of the things they'll be exposed to. So the program is very eclectic that way, and exposes them to both the academia, but establishes a bridge with the community and the companies around town.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Drissa, did you get to experience these fieldwork courses? Did you like that?
I did. So we also have a field course as part of the biology program, and it was a time where I got to really extend my relationships with the professors here at Algoma and learn more about their interests and what they do in each of their individual labs and their research. And this helped me choose Dr. Pedro Antunes as a thesis supervisor as well. But it also was a good snapshot of more hands-on, like putting your academic knowledge to work in the field. So that was great. And also I did take part in an internship here with local companies, and again, that expands your networking and putting that knowledge to work.
Awesome. So one thing that we definitely really believe in at Algoma U is allowing our undergraduate students opportunities that they wouldn't normally get at larger undergraduate universities that have graduate studies, for example. So at Algoma, we have undergraduate-only programs, and that's actually a really good benefit for our undergraduate students, because any research that's done here is done by our undergrads with the professors. So having said that, Dr. Antunes, can you tell us a little bit about your research at Algoma U, and how often do you hire students to help you with that?
Yeah, we're very fortunate that way, because not only we get summer positions through NSERC, but also Algoma University offers some really nice scholarships that allow students to do research in our labs during the summer. And so tied to these programs, we have a thesis option, which allows students to spend the summers with us, and then throughout the year they get towards to work towards their thesis. So they get to do research here in these labs, and then they go through the entire process of from presenting their posters at a conference, going to a conference, and as well, and presenting, giving a talk, and actually writing their final thesis. So they get to do all of those things, and I think that probably exposes them to more interactions with us in an environment that we're not, as faculty, I find that we focus only on these undergrad students, and because we have small class sizes, we get to know them so well. It's almost we work with them towards them meeting their goals, and so we see then a lot of we keep in touch, and we see where they're going and what they're doing today, and it's great to see that some of them are in grad school, some of them are back in town, are working here in great jobs, and so that has been very rewarding, and environmental science is going to open even more opportunities as well.
The relationship with professors is almost more of like a mentorship rather than like a superior professor kind of status to the students, which is amazing.
Awesome. So you're talking about the research and about how students use that in their fourth year to really kind of expand on what they're interested in. So Dorothy, you've got some plans for the future. Do you want to maybe talk about that a little bit?
I can, yes. So my initial plan for the summer is I'm going to go back and work with the same job that I've had for the last 3 summers, which is with one of the government labs here in Sault Ste. Marie. It is working with trees within Ontario and the ecology behind them, which is it can be related to what I've also been working with in my thesis as well, although not directly. But it's all intertwined, which is really nice. So I can take what I learned during my thesis and my academics and apply that to the jobs that I've had throughout the past couple of years as well. After that, I plan on applying for masters, but I'm going to do a bit of traveling first.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I mean, speaking of travel, one thing that we do offer at Algoma U, it's kind of a good segue here, is our study abroad program. So students in any program can actually apply to be study abroad students. You basically just have to complete 1 year of studies at Algoma U, and then you can apply to be a study abroad student. You can do 1 or even 2 semesters at a school across the map, basically. We have a lot of different opportunities at Algoma U available in countries all over the world, and one of the really big benefits of Algoma U Study Abroad program is that we don't have hundreds of students vying for these few spots. The chances are, if you're a good student and you've got decent grades and you apply on time, you'll likely be able to do what you want with study abroad. So just a little plug for that program. I will say that's my biggest regret from university. I studied here at Algoma U, and I didn't do study abroad. I didn't really know about it when I was a student, and there wasn't as many opportunities back then. I won't tell you how long that was, but now there's tons, and I see it all the time. There's different seminars going on, and there's all these new countries being added every year, so it's a really, really cool opportunity to travel, learn a different culture, and just kind of immerse yourself in that. So anyways, back to the sciences. Dr. Antunes, are there any interesting classes that students might really gravitate to in the environmental science program, or even in the biology program? If you want to kind of chime in on that, what classes you loved in your program as well, feel free.
Well, you can add to this, but I definitely enjoyed the invasive species class because it is a concern right now, like up and coming, which will also add to environmental science as well. I'm sure that will be a focus within the new program. But it was something that opens your minds as to what's going on in the world right now and what kind of environmental issues we have to face in the future as well.
Okay.
Yeah, classes like environmental pollution, toxicology, epidemiology, very important these days with emerging diseases as well, tied to biological invasions and to global trade. Those were definitely courses that I would recommend. Here we have the aquatic biology with the Great Lakes around us, environmental law as well. So quite a range of topics. The internship I already talked about, field studies, molecular biology, all of those will make a great program. Yeah.
Awesome. So this coming Monday, we actually have a pretty interesting thing going on at Algoma U. We're actually launching the environmental science program officially, and we've got Bob McDonald coming to speak. He's from CBC Radio's Quirks and Quarks, and he's going to be here doing a lecture, and we're going to have actually hundreds of students locally coming to hear from this. We had to move it actually to a larger location because we had such a strong interest in this. So we're really excited about this new program, and everybody on campus is kind of feeling the buzz. Just to kind of close out, before we get to the final question I have for you, Teresa, this building that we're in right now is fairly new, and it's got some pretty unique opportunities for students and pretty unique aspects of it. Can you touch maybe on some cool things about the building that we're in right now?
They can play football, ping pong. That's the next one. No, this building is good because they get to spend a lot of time here, either socializing or studying. Our offices are right beside our labs, so they can come ask us questions. We come to the labs, or we are here, and we teach here many courses as well. So it's almost like an ecosystem of student-professor interactions, and that's why we get to spend quite a bit of time with them. We have these journal clubs here, and then on Fridays, and then after that, everybody goes and has some fun. So it's a place where the students feel at home. I feel that they are getting quite a bit out of it, and it's and of course, on a more serious side, we were able to get some important grants from the Canadian Foundation for Innovation. You can see the labs are very well equipped, so they can do some high-end work as undergrads. They can amplify DNA. They can extract nutrients from plants or other tissues. They can work with microorganisms in different ways. Biochemical work could be done here. So we have a lot of resources, and they have access to these resources. And I'm not sure that at larger schools, students at this level necessarily have access to so many resources for such an amount of time. They don't have to be competing for bench space, if you want, right? So I think that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're in a lab right now, and I don't know if you can hear in the background, we actually have a couple of students just kind of working on some stuff right now. If you want to turn on a wave. And I don't know if you can hear the noise, but that's actually a fridge. So, there's actual science happening in this room right now, and this is real.
And they're working past 7, which is a good thing.
Yes. So the last question I want to ask, Teresa, what stands out to you as your most memorable Algoma moment?
My most memorable Algoma moment was first semester that I transferred here. A professor actually came up to me in the middle of my exam, whispered in my ear, "You got a 70 on the first midterm and 80 on the second, so you're reaching for a 90 on this final, right?" And I didn't even know that he knew who I was. So that put the whole small classroom into perspective for me, and it helps me strive and do better in every stage of every step of the way, because they know who you are and they're watching your progress, which is great. You're not just, accounting for yourself.
That's awesome. That's a really cool story.
Yes.
So just to kind of reiterate some of the things you said there, Algoma U, if you don't already know, our specialty is basically the small classes and the interaction that you get with them. We have a cap on our classes, no more than 75 in any class first year all the way through. And as you kind of specialize in your program, those classes will even get smaller, 25 to 30, maybe even some smaller seminar classes. So you're really going to get a lot of interaction, a lot of, I'd say, value-added education, more so than just sitting in a huge lecture hall and not getting to know your professor. You probably noticed a couple times in this video I called you Pedro. It's Dr. Antunes, but that's kind of how it is at Algoma. Our professors are not pretentious. They're very down to earth, and they get to know the students on a personal level.
I didn't even think I was going to do a thesis, because the thought of trying to find a thesis supervisor was intimidating at my previous school, so it was nice to just already be talking and prior to even thinking about it with the professors here, and that helped me a lot.
That's another cool thing about Algoma, is that our professors actually are the ones in the labs with the students as well, and from year 1 to year 4 you're going to get a lot of support and encouragement all the way throughout. And you had it for 2 years, but it seems like you really benefited just from those 2 years alone.
Yes, definitely.
So that's pretty much it for us. Unless there are any questions out there, we've got our videographer watching. Okay, well, I don't see any. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be in touch in the next few weeks with another Facebook Live. Have a good evening. Thank you.